Hey everybody, welcome back. And I got my first request, and it's by my girl Kayla. And she really wanted for me to do a look that was simple, that she could wear every day, to work, running errands, etc. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. So if you want to see that, then just keep watching. So first, I'm going to start out with my CoverGirl Outlast All Day Stay Fabulous foundation. It is a 3-in-1 foundation and it has an SPF of 20. I am also using my Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush to apply that first. Just do about 3 pumps. Now I am going in with my Morphe Damp Beauty Sponge. If you have a beauty blender or a Jeffree Star sponge or a Real Technique sponge, anything will work that you are familiar with or that you like. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pounce that into the skin. I used a brush at first to kind of put the product on there. I've grown to like that a little bit more. I've also grown to like my freckles to show a little bit more. Okay. Now I do my brows. I do my brows second. I put on my base first, and then I do my brows and then my eyes, and then I come back to my face. And I think, I don't know why I do that. I think it's because just in case I get fallout on my eyes or anything falls down my face, I can go ahead and clean it up with the concealer and the powder and everything that I'm using later. So right now I am using the Billion Dollar Brow pencil. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. And it doesn't have a shade, but it is dark brown. That's what I have. I'm put my hair up closer. So I'm just kind of spooling through my brows and brushing them in the way that I want my hairs to lay whenever I go and carve them out. So I always start from the bottom portion of my brow, work it to the tail, then come on top for my arch, and then brush through the front portion and hair-like strokes to just kind of make them look more natural up in this region. Then I just kind of bring my tail out a little bit further just to elongate my brows. Now this brow is kind of my problem brow. This one's pretty decent. Most of the time, this one, I have to form that arch, bring the tail out a little bit more, think everybody has that one that just doesn't want to cooperate ever. This is my problem child. Okay, and you see how like right here is a little bit too dark for my liking. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna spoolie. Kind of let that fade away. So for my eyebrows, I have very thick eyebrows. So whenever I fill mine in, I really just trying to fill in like the open spaces and the gaps. I already have really thick brows as it is, so I don't really want to make them even thicker on me and on myself. If you have thick brows and you might want to make them thicker, that's on you. But I just, on me, not my thing. So now I'm going to go in with my Wet n Wild concealer. I'm just putting it on my eyelids as kind of like a base for my eyeshadow. Taking that Morphe sponge and putting that in there. Also, I don't know if you can see, if you're wondering what these cuts right here are, my cat is a scrapper. No, she really just came up on my headboard. She was on my headboard. I don't know if you can see, it's like right there. And I was literally in the middle of the night. I was sleeping. She jumped down onto my face. She didn't mean to, but she scratched me pretty intensely. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my Revolution Luxury Baking Powder in the shade Banana. I think this is a very good dupe for the Midnight Banana Powder. I really like it. And then I'm taking my Real Techniques, it's like a face setting brush, and I put it in the cap so that way I don't use too much product that I know I'm not gonna use and then waste it. So I'm just gonna put it in the cap and go over that to set it. And I set it because that way when you go to apply your eyeshadow, everything just kind of blends pretty evenly. I found when I don't set my eyelid that my eyeshadow turns up kind of chalky and patchy and very uneven. I do not like that, so I set my eyelids. I am using my very well loved, very dirty Jaclyn Hill palette. I am blessed to have a boyfriend that gave this to me. He's amazing for that. I wanted it so bad, and one day he just surprised me with it. It was awesome. First, I'm gonna go in with the shade MFEO. And I'm putting that shade on in my crease, but on the high point of my crease. So it's going to go up towards my brow bone. So that way the next color that I put on can kind of blend evenly without any harsh lines. This color is just a few shades darker than my actual skin tone, and it's a lot warmer. So it just really accentuates the crease and to have a little bit more depth. So I'm putting this on the higher points of my crease. Right where my cut is, it feels great. And I also bring my eyeshadow way out here, like right where my tail on my brow ends, only because my eye shape it's very almond shaped, but it is a little squinty, so I like to elongate them a little bit, so I kind of pull the eyeshadow out. And I kind of just bring the eyeshadow down onto my lid a little bit because I'm not going to put a color there. So I kind of just drag it down pretty much everywhere. Okay, now wiping that off just a little bit, that color. I am also going to take the color Pooter. These names are kind of funny. Jaclyn Hill's funny. I'm also going to put it in my crease, but in the lower portion of my crease. So I put the other color up here and all around. I'm keeping this in my crease, but lower. I'm keeping it right there. Wow, the cut really hurts. Alice. She messed me up. Keeping it low. Try not to go above that first color that I put down. Okay. Now wiping a little bit of that off again, going back with that shade MFEO. And I'm putting it where the two colors meet and also up to where I put it last time, up in the brow bone. It kind of just meshes the two colors together and you don't have one color here and one color there. Jaclyn Hill always told me blending is key and blend until your hand falls off, and I think I've come to that occurrence quite a few times. Like that. Okay, we're gonna put that down for now. And I'm going to pick up my eyelash curler. This one I think I got from CVS. I don't know what brand it is, but I mean any eyelash curler will do. Now using my Stila Huge Extreme Lash Mascara. It just looks like this in the wand. Looks like this. Now, don't come for me for the way that I do my mascara because it's a little weird. I brush it like any normal mascara. I take it and I go downward. Back and forth. And this is why. Because for me, my eyelashes are very weird. I feel like they're shaped really weird. They're not short, they're not long, but they're pretty decent. I just try and make sure that I get every single lash that's on there. And also 9 times out of 10, when I'm doing a day-to-day look, I don't wear false lashes, or if I'm going to work, because I also work outside sometimes during parts of the days and it's just too much for me. And so whenever I'm doing a day-to-day look like this, I do just use my regular lashes and mascara. But if I'm not doing that, if I'm going out, your girl's got some falsies on. Then my second coat, I take it from the root of the lash, so like right here, and I wiggle it upwards So that way, once again, I'm getting every lash and it kind of just separates them and make them a little bit more fuller. Now, going back in with my concealer, my Wet n Wild concealer. For an everyday look, I usually just do it up around my eyes. If I'm doing more of a full glam, I do my under eyes, my forehead, my nose, my chin, my smile line, and my Cupid's bow. But we don't got all that time when we're trying to run errands. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put it under my under eyes. This is a little, it's not very thick. It's not a very thick concealer. I am almost out, so that doesn't help, but it's not thick concealer in general. Then I take it and I just kind of make that line just in case that if I got sloppy or if I got a little bit messy under my eyes when I do elongate that eyeshadow, I can kind of clean it up a little bit. Just helps brighten up the under eyes just a little bit so we don't look too sleepy and dead, because I can get that way for sure, especially if I've had a long night. My eyes need the help. Gosh, those cuts hurt. Going and blending. Do you see how well that kind of just cleans up everything, what we were doing right here? But like when it's messy, and it's not messy, but it's kind of grungy and it's very blown out, I love that look. I think it's one of my favorites. But on a day-to-day, when you just have 2-3 colors of eyeshadow on, you don't want it to look like you were just like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just gonna throw it on there. So that's why I do the concealer. Okay, and also on a day-to-day, how many times am I gonna say this? Take a shot. No, I'm just kidding. I will usually put concealer on my forehead, everything like I said before, but right now, my leftover product that I had from the concealer, I'm just kind of hitting those places. Okay. Wow, my curlies are coming out today. Hello. I'm gonna go in with my, if I can find it, my Tarte Amazonian Clay powder. Couldn't get it out there for a second. It does have pink undertones in it, and my shade is a medium beige. I really like this powder. It lasts a long time on my skin. Now with the powder, I'm only putting it, I'm pretty much putting it everywhere except for under my eyes, because I have something else for that. Make sure to get your neck, because we don't want those ugly lines that you get when you don't blend. I think we've all done it once or twice in our life, but I can't stand it. It drives me crazy. Okay. For my under eyes, I'm going to use the same thing, the Revolution baking powder in banana. And when I told you that when I do a full glam and I do these points, the triangle points, even though I didn't do it with my concealer, I'm still going to hit those points with my powder, so it can still give it a brightening effect, just the coverage won't be as intense. I wish you could see the difference. I'm gonna hit those points that I would usually get if I put my concealer on, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyways, so I can still get a little bit of a brightening effect. Smile lines, and I kind of just when getting my smile lines. Kind of looks funny, but it gets it. And my Cupid's bow. Yay. Okay. This is my Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer, and it is in the shade Palm Beach Ready. Now, I don't know if you can see, they're like gold flecks in it. That is my jam. I love gold. I love gold on my face. I love gold on my wrist, on my neck. But I love gold speckles, and it's not for everybody. A lot of people would see this bronzer and be like, whoa, that's too much. I like my matte. Now, matte is what I do with my contour. But then again, that's just what I do. Everybody's different. Everybody has their preferences. Putting it on the apples of my cheeks, bringing it back, and putting it up on my temples. And put on my forehead. When I put it on my nose, I put it on my nose everywhere, but I take it and I swoop my sides with the brush. And I do this because when you get sunburn, or at least when I get sunburn on my face, I always get that area right here that's sunburnt. Well, me personally, this sounds really weird, but I like getting sunburnt. Not too sunburnt, but just enough to where I have that flush of color. And that's where I get it, is right here. Ooh. So I try and duplicate what the sun does on the tops of my face. Put on the jaw and down the neck. Even put on my chest when I'm feeling extra. I am going to be using the Morphe blush palette. Love this palette. I'm fixing to do my contour with it, which is really weird because why would you use a blush palette for your contour? Well, there is this shade right here. This first color is broken, so I have to hold it kind of weird. But this one, the name is Ego, and it's kind of like a purpley brown deep brown, tan. It's pretty. That's all I know. And I'm using my Real Techniques contour brush. Dipping in there. Make your fish face. Find your cheekbone. And I just lightly do it as a contour. I love the color that it puts on my cheekbone. It's so natural looking. It's not too muddy, it's not too deep, it's not too frosty. It's perfect for my skin tone. So if you are between fair to medium, that in between, which is what I am whenever I'm at my palest, which is right now, this is perfect for your contour. I also don't like really dark, deep contour shades either. I'm not trying to look like too sucked in. Just want that chisel to be there. Just like that. And then I put it on the sides of my forehead. And I focus this, I put the bronzer all over my forehead, but I kind of focus my contour just on the two sides of my forehead to once again give that chiseled, sharp, not too sharp, but just like you have some depth to your face, which everybody does. You just gotta find it. Contouring the nose. And I don't really contour my nose because I want it smaller for me personally, which is what you can do, which is the purpose of it, but I contour it because I have a contoured cheek, forehead, I'm gonna have a contoured jawline, I have color on each. It just what makes sense for me to do all that and then have a white, plain, flat nose, if that makes sense. Now getting the jawline, just focus, if you're looking straight, I can see the natural shadows of my jawline, and that's what I'm gonna follow. That's gonna be my guideline. Okay. So now I'm gonna go back in with my regular Real Techniques powder brush. I'm just gonna go over everything to make sure everything is nice and smooth. Now, one of my favorite parts, and that is blush. I am a blush freak. I don't think I'll ever not be. And also, blush is the first thing in your makeup routine to fade away and to go. So I go heavy on my blush. Not complaining because I could bathe in it, but these are the colors that I'm using. I'm going to be using It Girl and Driven. Mixing them both. I start back here and then follow them to the apples. And I kind of put on my temples. I like color everywhere, apparently. This looks really good in this mirror. This one right here. I wish y'all could see it from my point of view. I will get better equipment eventually. But this is what I'm working with, and I was too excited to start my YouTube channel. Gotta start somewhere. Now I put it on my forehead, which is weird to some people, but I love blush everywhere. My nose, and I do that little swiping motion like we did with the bronzer. A little bit on my chin. There we go. Going back in with my powder brush, kind of taking it, putting it everywhere. Make sure everything's good. My hair is crazy, because I'll fix it at the end. Okay. Now I'm going back in with my Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going in with the shade In Light. It is her lightest shade, clearly, by the name. And I am taking, they're magnetic, so I took it out and they were like this. I am taking this brush. It is just a flat brush. And I am going to put this on my brow bone to kind of highlight my brows, and it kind of makes them lift a little bit. I also keep my fluffy brush handy. Now I go back with this fluffy brush, take it and mend those two colors together. And you can do it with whatever's left over on the brush like I just did. Gosh, my bra. And I just hit pan on that In Light color. It's always a sad day when that happens. Just like that. And now I'm gonna take my finger, dip into that In Light shade in my tear duct. This kind of just opens the eye up a little bit. Just like that. Gives it more of like an awake feeling. And that color, it's crazy. There you go. Now, I'm gonna go back with my mascara and hit my bottom lashes. Cute. Okay. Now I'm going with the Tarte Amazonian Clay highlighter in the shade Sparkler. And I want to give a shout out to my friend Megan that gave me this on my birthday a few years ago. And it has lasted me so long. So long. And mind you, I've hit pan. Don't get me wrong. But it's lasted me forever. And it stays on forever. That's the best part about it. I'm going to hit the high points of my cheeks. Bring it up my temples. You're always going to put it where that bone is, right here. Okay. Now I put it on my nose. put it right above my eyebrow where the light hits. Put on my Cupid's bow. I don't really know why that ever became a thing to put it right here, but I like it. I'm in it. Now with that same brush that I did my highlight with, I'm dipping into that sparkler color from the highlight, and I'm putting it right under my arch. So right here. Ooh. Hello. And to me, that's like when you take like a golden hour pic, this is what does it. All my ladies know what a golden hour picture is. Y'all better. And then I'm taking it again with my finger, going where that in light shade was. And we're glowing. Back with my powder brush, over. All right. Now, these are my favorite drugstore lipsticks to ever exist on this earth. In my opinion, their formula is crazy good. This is the Milani lipsticks, and it's in the shade Teddy Bear. And this shade just kind of goes with this, but I have literally, I think I have every shade of theirs. It's just so good. And it's not matte, it's not too glossy. It's just perfect. It's just perfect. That's all I can say. Get this mirror, because my lips, I'm particular about my lips. God, this bra just like doesn't want to stay on my shirt. I don't know what has happened to me. I used to be all about that liquid lipstick, matte, no gloss life. Well, girl's a glossy girl now, and I can't live without gloss. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. But this is the NYX Butter Gloss, and it's in the shade Eclair. Yes. So I'm only putting this in the middle parts of my lips. It kind of gives it that pouty look, and we all know, I think by my pictures, I love that. My lips are decent as it is, but why not make them look better if you can? And the formula for this is great too. It literally feels like butter, just what it says. And to be even extra, like myself, I'm putting another gloss on top of it because your girl likes to be shiny. And it's just the clear gloss. Yes, please. This is the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. I got a few videos lined up. But that is it from me. Until next time, I will see you guys later.